Hey everyone, James Labrie from Dream Theater, and you're listening to or watching the podcast Talking into Infinity with JT and Brian. Enjoy this. These guys are extremely informative. I love their dialogue. I love their interpretation of the songs, who and what we are, what we were going after. They're very accurate in their interpretations and descriptions, and I just think this is a great show, and these guys are doing a stand-up stellar job. So once again, enjoy Talking into Infinity with JT and Brian.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Talking into Infinity, a Dream Theater-centric podcast. I am your host, John. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and talkingintoinfinity.com. We are at those fine locations every other Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you are watching on YouTube and you have not done so already, please remember to click the like button, click the subscribe button, and of course, hit the notification bell so that you are notified every time we go live. Without further ado, let me bring on another esteemed member of the Channel 4 news team. He is, of course, my very good friend and co-host, Mr. Brian Hendrickson. What's going on, man?
I am trying to survive.
Oh, here we go with the complaints already.
I know, man. Well, as you know, Monsters of Rock Cruise 2 for me is in the books. And getting the cruise crud 2 times in a row for me is in the books as well. So I am going to do my best to soldier through this evening. Is that Anchorman behind you?
Anchorman 2. The legend continues. Yeah. I am a huge fan. I am a huge proponent of that movie. I will defend it every chance I get. All my friends are like, that movie sucks. I'm like, no, it's awesome and it's hilarious. So
I put a sequel behind me too, which I think is actually the worst, one of the worst sequels ever. Grown Ups, the original movie, completely hilarious. I don't know about you, but I thought the second one was borderline unwatchable.
I have never seen either because I thought the concept was like, it's like, hey, look at this buddy comedy. I'm like, oh God. And Adam Sandler's done like one really funny movie in like the last 20 years. And
I think you would like the original. The original is very funny, but yeah, 2 is just like, dude, you should have stopped at 1, you know?
Okay. All right. Well, I know my wife at least likes the first one. So Doug McCauley says, what's going on, TII? Good to see you, Doug. Appreciate you, man. No offense, but I hope your basketball team shits the bed tomorrow night so that our Cleveland Cavaliers can advance to the second round, even though they play like crap. Chastity Crawley is in here. She says, Leela and I are here, but one of us is sleeping. Is it Leela or Layla? I think it's. Let me make sure. Correct me on that, chat, so I can make sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. But one of us is sleeping. She's healthy and growing well. Nearly 10 pounds at 6 weeks. 6 weeks on Sunday. She is being blessed. LDS version of christening on Sunday. Awesome. Very cool, Chaz. Very cool. Okay. So there we go. Yeah. So, anyways, so you were on the Monsters of Rock cruise again. Before you get to a couple stories from that, if you have them. Did you see any Sebastian Bach hijinks? Or
I did not. No, I didn't see him one time, and then as I'm like waiting at the airport, all of this stuff is just pouring in about all this. First of all, like if you just have artwork on the ship, I don't know why you need to be there.
Right.
I ran into Brian Wheat from Tesla literally 15 times in the buffet in the elevator. The dude kind of looks like. And he's really short, and he has this wig that looks like he's the main dwarf from Fellowship of the Ring. Super nice guy. His paintings are cool, but again, it's like if that's the only thing you're doing on the ship, maybe don't be there. But yeah, I never saw Bach one time, so feel free to fire away with the stories.
I was gonna say, like, I mean, was word getting out across the boat that what he was doing?
No, because I think a lot of it was maybe the last night or two. From my understanding of it, like they do this thing with karaoke at the end of the night,
Yeah.
And all the rock stars go into this thing. I never went to the karaoke. The guy I was rooming with went a couple times, but it's so packed and you can't even hardly move in there. So I didn't bother with it. So I don't know if the end of one of those nights, second or last night, I think something went down. Apparently with him and Ted Poley and Stevie Rochelle
Yeah.
and possibly Michael Sweet. I don't know for sure about that one, but yeah, I mean, but then there's a lot of people that were like, "Oh, every time we approached Baz, he was amazing," and then some people are like, "He was a total douche," and people are like, "Well, he was being accosted by people from all angles," you know. And it's like, well, yeah, you're on the cruise and you're not even performing, so anytime someone sees you, unless you're eating, they're gonna want to take a picture. So if
Yeah.
you don't understand that, what the fuck are you doing there? You know, like that's your whole job is to interact with people and answer questions and take pictures. And otherwise, why are you there? I mean, I don't know. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I it just seems like the same old story. That's the thing. I mean, I get people are like, "Yeah, we ran into him and he was really cool." Like, okay, well, that's awesome. But I mean, how many times have we seen the story of Sebastian Bach got drunk and acted like a complete and total entitled asshole at insert event, venue, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's kind of that's what he does. So
Well, and
I
it's
get
like I don't buy
surprised.
the got drunk part either. It's like that's at some point at your age, you know what I mean? Like I remember my first beer. Yeah, that you're Doug, you're actually right on. I might feel better if I actually had COVID than this crap.
Brian
But
COVID Henderson.
yeah. But it's like I don't know, man. How can you not handle your alcohol at what 59 or whatever? He's got to be older than me, right? Or maybe right at my age. I don't know. Like if you don't know how to handle alcohol at that point, then you know what I mean? Like I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, like I say, it's just a recurring story. I mean, so I guess it's not a surprise. And that Ted Poley guy quickly like kind of reversed course on his thing. He posted that big rant that went viral, and then all of a sudden it was, oh yeah, I was tired and I'd lost a pet, so I was emotional, and I shouldn't have done that, and he's a hero, and this, that, and the other, and it's like, all
But
right.
he but Ted didn't say anything bad. Everything he said was just like, "Why do you act like this?" You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of it? Like,
Well, he did say I'd kick your fucking ass. But I mean, there was that. There was
well,
a direct threat in there. I mean,
yeah, basically because he was just tired of it, I think. But I mean, they call Ted like the mayor on the ship. Like, he's the nicest fucking guy. There's one other guy that's maybe as nice, and I'll go into that in a minute. But like, I mean, it really takes you really would have to work hard to piss off Ted Poley. I mean, he's treated like bigger, like he's almost bigger than Bach on there. I mean, Danger is not the biggest band in the world, but they had two pretty big albums for that era, kind of at the end of the era, right? But
yeah,
people that loved that band, that loved Ted, and he did a lot of solo stuff, and the solo stuff wasn't great or anything, but he just a guy that just always worked and played, and he found a new home on these cruises about 6, 7, 8 years ago, whatever, and he's on most of them, and he plays kind of like with a solo band, but he plays all danger stuff, and it's just like I don't know. You really have to do something bad if you piss him off, I think.
right. Yeah, it was. I mean, the Stevie Rochelle thing, from what I understand, that guy gets with a lot of people, but
He
yeah,
he's kind of turned the corner though, man. I mean, his whole thing is like, you know what? I don't care anymore. He tries to be cool with people too. I mean, the times I've seen him, he's been super cool to me. I met him a few times. He's always signing autographs for people, and they're tough as kind of like the C D level band on the ship. So a lot of people make fun of him, but I'm like, he's still a decent guy, I think. I mean, ever since he got over the metal sludge thing.
yeah. Did you see? Speaking of tough, did you see my buddy Billy Morris on the boat?
Uh, I saw him walking around. I did not make it to a tough show. I did want to go. They actually played, I think, like something like some of the bands were playing 3 and 4 times. I don't know if that's because there was just a lack of bands, but I did catch. Actually, no, that's wrong. I caught about 3 songs of I think their second time they played in
Okay.
one of the atriums. But yeah, I like Tough for what they are. Again, that it's not for everybody. I mean, I think that's another band where their hit song, that ballad, is not really representative of what they are. They're a little bit heavier band than you think live. They
Yeah.
come across, good. And but I mean, once again, I mean, I can't believe I actually said. I think I said this to you like even before I was like, oh well, I don't even know if I'll necessarily go see Queensryche since I've seen him, And then it's just
Yeah,
like
right.
you're on the boat and you're like, what are you smoking? Like, of course you're gonna be
I
there.
was
I
gonna
mean,
say.
I was like in the 14th row in the theater or whatever. I'm just like, I saw him twice. I told you I ran into him in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Told him to tie in the bathroom, and here I'm hacking my brains out, and I'm trying to like I get out of the bathroom. And I'm sort of waiting for him, I'm trying not to be creepy, and my whole thing was like, I'm going like, you saved the band, man. That's what I was saying. I was like, because I was legit. I was like, dude, you absolutely saved this band. This band was done. It was over. It was finished, completely done. And you brought new life into it. And I don't know if I sent you some of the videos I had. I'm
Yeah.
literally on the pool stage. I'm like 7 feet away from hitting those highs on Queen of the Reich, London, Neue Regel. He just absolutely annihilated those high parts again. I mean, and they did what they did last time, 2 completely different sets, and every single song is still a total banger. I mean, how many freaking
Yep.
bands could do that? I mean, can you name 3 total?
Well, and especially when you've got, that middle part of their career, which was absolutely just horrible.
Right.
From
right.
here in the Now Frontier through Dedicated to Chaos, you've got basically
Right.
just complete and total dog shit. So, by the way, Rob Carcahangas, great to see you, man. He's talking about Sebastian Bach. He says it depends on if you run into him if he's drinking. Yeah, see, that's the problem. And then Chastity Crawley says he can handle it, one in each hand. Well played, Chaz.
So shout out to Rob. He was my roommate in Miami the first night before we got on the ship.
Okay.
And I hung out with him, and he's friends with the Power Than Hell guys, and we hung out and went to a lot of shows together. And I wish I could have partied more with you, Rob. I told you I caught the cruise crud, and that's I was trying not to let that affect stuff. But
is cruise crud your new term for being an antisocial prick?
No, it's not.
I shouldn't make you laugh because I've had coughs like you have, and if you laugh, it's over, man. You're just like it brings on a coughing fit. So
oh God, it was horrible. I mean, I was fearing this the whole time, and it was like my wife was sick the week before. I literally I think I told you this. I didn't even let her drive me to the airport. I took my own car, parked it, and spent like this ridiculous amount of money, $25 a day to park, which I didn't even know it was. I thought it was like half that, and I still got freaking sick.
Oh my God!
By day 3, but I tried to make the best of it. Like, but once again, I texted you when it happened. Symphony X, there's just something about him. Like, oh, Hendrickson's coming. Hang on, can you bend over here real quick? I know I dropped the soap, and I don't have any lube behind me. This is going to be really dry when it goes in, but here, just, it's going to shove this in. So I'm 3 out of my last 5 I have missed. So we had COVID. We had the bus breakdown for you and me. And then we had complete monsoon on the pool show for the very last night. And what sucks about that is it's the last show basically of the whole cruise cycle. On the pool stage. Yeah, on the pool stage. And they've already got the theater booked for, slaughter, which, as far as I'm concerned, they could have kicked them out of there.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's like, so you're not going to see him the second time. But I did see him the first time in the theater, and it was cool because I'm walking back, and the guy's like, I was waiting for somebody with a Symphony X shirt, and I had my work shirt that says Symphony X, and he hands me the set list, so I had that.
Oh, that's
I was
cool.
pissed. So yeah, I was pissed. If I had been feeling better, I would have tracked him down and had him sign it and shit. But yeah, I mean, they sounded great in the theater. I mean, I don't know that a lot of people on the band or on the cruise necessarily appreciated him, and they got hosed by not playing that last night. But again, Russell and we got Paradise Lost, which was just freaking amazing. I mean, we know how much we love that song. So
totally.
Yeah. So that's my recap for now.
Very cool. Yeah, when you said that they had canceled, I was like, dude, you just cannot catch a break with that band, man. Like,
I think they were the only one that was totally rained out on the pool stage. So this is like I've told you before. Like, if you know a band's playing multiple times, make sure you go see the first time, especially if the second show is on the pool stage, because you just don't know what the weather,
Yeah. Lee Walker checking in. Great to see you, man. Thanks for checking out the show. Says, I met Sebastian Bach at a Dream Theater King's X show here in LA. God, that was years ago, wasn't it? if I remember right. Wasn't that like a really long time ago? I think so.
I have no idea.
Kale McLeish checking in. Great to see you, bro. He says, just compiled my list. There's going to be a few that get me excommunicated, but I have a weird taste in music and really did at 15. Kale, nothing gets you excommunicated, man. It's all music. Even if it's something we don't like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We have we have a milestone in the chat. Our very good friend Doug McCauley says, "Holy crow, being sober is paying off. I spelled your name right, Kale. There we go. Kale is not Carl tonight." There we go. He also has a question. He also has a question here. So this is pertinent. He says, "So no Luna Park, is that the rule?" Doug, I did not choose Luna Park because I figured since we're not allowed to pick the new Dream Theater record, I kind of thought in my head I was like that would be a cheap way out on one of the records for me. So I didn't pick it. I kind of made my own rule there. But if one of you guys picked it, I think that's fine. It's not the new studio album, which is technically the rule. And Kale agrees. He says no, rule is no self-titled. I see nothing here against Live at Luna Park. Yes. And then Lee Walker is confirming it was a very long time ago. I think, God, if I remember, that was like one of the first couple tours, if I remember it, when they were touring with King's X. So
really, I never knew they did.
Yeah, and I think, and I don't know where he saw them, but Sebastian Bach, like in Lifting Shadows, Rich Wilson's biography of the band, which again I will shill every time it comes up. If you haven't read it, haven't bought it, you got to buy it. It's amazing. There's a little quote from Sebastian Bach in there where he says he went to see the band and he went to see Dream Theater, got down front, was headbanging like a motherfucker to pull me under. So who knows, Lee? Maybe you're at that show that he talked about in the Dream Theater biography. So there we go. So, all right. So you ready to get into this?
Yeah, real quick. Let's congratulate Doug. So we started at 7:30. He's 18 minutes sober now. So that's a milestone. That's probably 17 more than John, right?
No, man, just iced tea and water for me. You're not even gonna believe this. Here
we go.
In I think a month, I've drank one time, and it was only a couple shots and beers last Friday night when I went out to dinner with Steph. I'm trying to lose this weight, man. I'm going to the Star Wars convention next April. I am going to lose weight. I'm down like 12 pounds. So I'm a little less big for my age, as you would say. So look at Joseph Wren. Where can I buy the audiobook? That's funny. Good to see you, bro. There is no audiobook, unfortunately. That is definitely an oversight. But yeah, so do you have a list of movies that came out this year like you usually do, or are we just going to get right into it?
You know, I did. I threw one together real quick here because I knew you were gonna. Because last time I don't think I had one, and you were like, "What the hell, Hendrickson?"
it's part of the whole. It's part of the program, man.
Yeah. So a lot of sequels, like we just said. We had Anchorman 2, Grown Ups 2. This is a movie a lot of people I think get over their skis on. Where do you stand on World War Z?
I didn't watch it because I read the reviews and. I've listened to, I think it's the abridged version of the audiobook, and I loved it. It was really unique because it's like it's like news reports, and it's from different people's perspective, and it's cool. And everything I read about the movie is that it just completely sanitizes the whole experience of it. So I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I never read it. To me, it was an okay zombie movie. 12 Years a Slave. There's an uplifting one for you if you've seen
yeah.
Michael Fassbender is amazing, but he's great in everything. Probably my favorite Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, Desolation of Smaug. I love that one. Are you a Lord of the Rings guy? I can't remember.
I love the movies. I've tried reading the books, and they're a little too dry for me. There's so much descriptive stuff in there that I'm like, but I read the shit out of The Hobbit as a kid. Yeah. So the movies are pretty good. I don't like all the crap they added to like purposely stretch it out into 3 movies, but
right.
Yeah. But it's good. But I agree with you. The Desolation of Smaug is and I'm never sure if it's Smaug or Smaug because the British people say Smaug a lot of the time. But yeah, that's definitely a great movie.
Hangover 3, I stopped after 1. I didn't think we needed sequels. Did you see 2 or 3?
I saw all 3. The second one is hilarious. If you like the first one, I think the second one's funnier than the first one, to be honest with you. I would highly recommend you watch it. It is.
All right, I'll
It
check
is
it out.
really funny. The third one, not so much because it gets really dark. Like I came out of the theater from that going, what the fuck? Like that wasn't fun. Like, what is this? So it kind of like it loses its luster on the third one. But yeah, the first and second one are funny, and the second one especially, I really liked.
I'm not an expert on Marvel, but I think this one is universally panned, and I'm fine with it. But Iron Man 3, I think people were not a fan of that one.
Yeah, it's the least popular of the Iron Man ones. I think it's actually kind of one of the least popular of that whole Infinity Saga. I like it. I don't mind it, but it definitely has its weaknesses. It's definitely kind of an interesting perspective because it kind of gets into like it's Tony Stark kind of having PTSD.
Yep.
From the events of like Age of Ultron and stuff like that. But
a couple more quick ones. I think that was the one that had AC/DC all over it, right? On the soundtrack.
Yeah,
I think 2 or 3, one of those.
I think it might have been 2.
Oh, okay.
Oh well, anyway.
Yeah. Wolf of Wall Street. That was a great movie.
Yes.
Jonah Hill is great in that, and so is Leonardo.
Margot Robbie, yes, she is.
Yeah, right. That's how I focus on the dudes. This is an interesting movie. My wife was actually watching this again the other day. This is one of these movies where you watch at the time and you're like, it's okay, but I don't remember a single thing when it's over. Now You See Me.
I didn't see it. I know what it is, but it's actually one of those. I know it's Leonardo DiCaprio. Is that one of the? Is that Tom Hanks in there as well?
No, he's not in this one. This is like Mark Ruffalo.
Okay.
Maybe Jesse Eisenberg. Yeah, I don't think it's Leonardo's in it. It's like where they're magicians and they pull off some heists or whatever.
Oh, that no, I'm thinking of a different one. No, I did not see that because that's the magician one. I'm like, whatever, magic. Whatever.
It's actually not bad. I love this movie in the theater. You had to see it in the theater. Gravity. That was like to me the most realistic. Like you thought you were in space on that one.
Yes. Did you see it in 3D?
We did see 3D, I believe. If I remember correctly. Yeah,
I did too. That scene where she gets spun.
Oh God!
The camera's just spinning and spinning. You're like, okay, we get it. She's spinning. Jesus Christ! Stop! Like, I actually own it on 3D Blu-ray, and so I've watched it in my VR helmet, my PlayStation VR helmet. Dude, it is like, and that's like a super immersive experience. That movie is crazy in that format, but yeah, very, very good. Very.
And then lastly, I mean, there's 8 million movies came, but I put Fast and Furious 6. I never got into any of those.
No.
I don't know if you are or not, but
no, not
cars going fast and jumping and exploding and stuff. I guess there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not my deal. So
yeah, and of course, my favorite movie of the year. It's my background, Anchorman 2. Yes. I will die on that hill that it is a hilarious movie. And most of my friends completely disagree.
I might have to see it again. It's going to sound sacrilegious, but there's Will Ferrell. I don't know. There's times when I'm like, okay. And then there's other times that I'm like, I kind of like some of his serious stuff better, Like,
there's people like that with Adam Sandler. One of my wife's favorite movies by Adam with Adam Sandler is the one where he's like the 9/11 widower.
Oh yeah.
She loves that.
That's a fucked up movie.
Yeah.
Well, there's have you seen the Will Ferrell one where his wife's leaving him or something, or gets a divorce, or getting a divorce, and he's having like that yard sale, and he just puts everything out in the yard, and he's just kind of like living in the front yard, and he befriends that one kid. I don't know. It's kind of serious and dark and depressing, but like he's a damn good actor doing that stuff, and it annoys me because like his comedy stuff pisses me off sometimes.
Yeah. No, I mean sometimes you have those types of actors, man. I love the first Anchorman, and when I saw the second one, I was like, this is just more of the same. So I was a huge fan. And but it's weird to go back and watch it because some of the racial stuff that they have in it, you're like, ooh, good Lord. Like, how did they get away with this? Like,
well, they're retelling a time of the 70s when that's.
Oh, I know, but I mean, I was like, I mean, if you really, you're like, holy, wow, okay. So, Kale McLeish says, "Is your favorite Anchorman? Is it your favorite Anchorman because it has a memorable scene using "Dance the Night Away"? I mean, that never hurts to have a Van Halen song in there." And Lee Walker says that Will Ferrell movie is Everything Must Go.
Yes, that's a great movie, man.
I've heard of it. So, All right. Well,
Check
we're
it out.
25 minutes in. We have not talked about our topic, so let's get to the point here. This is a record even for us, I think. So I did 8, and I think you did 8 as well. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I ended up with
Okay.
8. There was a couple I think we both talked about. Maybe we could go over, and we're like, no.
Yeah, it got difficult for sure. I actually have a couple of live albums on mine, so that'll
Oh
be
wow,
interesting
interesting.
when they come up. And did you rank yours? Because I know sometimes you've done that. I don't. I go in release order. So
My number 1 is probably number 1. The rest are you could probably just mix them all up, So look at it like that, I guess.
yeah, Kale just asked the question. Are we doing release order, or do you want me to just go with the big ones first? Yeah, I'm just doing release order, Kale. I'm not saying which one's better. I mean, that's kind of difficult. And Doug McCauley obviously says his number 8 is James LaBrie, Impermanent Resonance. Get the obvious out of the way. More interesting picks after. Nice.
Oh crap! I didn't even know you had a solo album that year. See, I'm never looking for stuff like that.
So, dude, I
Like,
was gonna text you so as I tell you, I look up albums released in whatever year, and it comes up with a Wikipedia, and it's
right.
got a whole ton of stuff. So I go through that to pick, and then I type in hard rock and heavy metal albums released in whatever year, and then you get stuff that that's how I found some of the ones on my list because it didn't show up on the Wikipedia, but it showed up in the hard rock heavy metal stuff. So you kind of cover all your bases.
Yeah.
So, all right. So why don't you start out here? What do you have first on your list?
Oh, I've got your old buddy, Trent Reznor.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Actually, the last really album that I thought it was pretty solid for most of it, Hesitation Marks. He would hate this even more because I think there's a lot of sort of Prince influences,
Ooh,
like
yeah,
dark,
you can keep
heavier
that.
Prince. I love the first musical. I don't even know what you want to call it, but it's like this intro that's basically almost kind of scares the hell out of everyone. Couple of the singles off there, copy of it's one of my favorite Nine Inch Nails. It's got a really cool Moog synth sound on top of this kind of electro beat. It's sort of we get funky evil Trent, industrial dance mode, and that's
Okay.
really where he's at his best and probably what you would consider his worst, right? So
Not a
came
fan.
back haunted. If you heard that song, you would be like, okay, this sounds exactly like every Nine Inch Nails song and why I don't like it. But it's one of those where it's like I think he fell out of bed and it's paint by numbers, but I thought it still sounded old and new at the same time. If that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
It's a cool song on there called Satellite. It definitely feels like Prince vocally, beat wise when it starts out. I don't know. There's like a lot of I don't know what you found, but it seemed like every album I have from this year has like 14 plus or 12 to 14 songs, and as much as I like some of them, we could probably cut the songs down to 10.
Yeah. I don't
know if you
there's some
thought the same
filler.
thing or not,
Yeah, there's definitely some filler.
but there's a song on there called Into that where he's using this really cool vocoder thing, and I don't know it. There's a song. He has another song called "Violent Heart." So I made this comment where it sounds like Sergeant Reznor's Violent Hearts Club Band because it's like I don't know. It's kind of this trippy Beatlesy, chorus, but it's distorted and it's industrial. And I don't know. I think it's just the last album that's produced and has enough decent songs on it to where I don't skip a ton. And I love the production on it. And most of the songs are those kind of where it starts out with something and just keeps building and building on itself, and that's kind of what he's sort of become over the years. And I always think that's kind of the ultimate growth of an artist, especially people that kind of dabble in more of the electronic stuff,
Yeah.
Because if you don't kind of build like that, it just gets a little too repetitive. But
Sure.
yeah, Nine Inch Nails, Hesitation Marks.
Awesome. Cam McLeish says, all right, so I'll skip a few that aren't as big for me and still stay chronological. Up first, Orianthi, Heaven in This Hell. So Orianthi, the guitar shredder. She was Richie Sambora's girlfriend and all that, but yeah, she can shred, man. So good choice there, Kale. She's a phenomenal player. Rob Karkohangas, his number 8 has Clutch, Earth Rocker. Clutch is one of those bands I've never been able to get into. And I know they're big deal, but I just, man, I can't get behind it. It's something about it doesn't grab me. What does grab me is this first record on my list, which was released on March 26th of 2013. And this is a band where if we're doing one of these years and they put an album out, it's going on my list because they should have named this band Pizza, because even if it's not great, it's awesome. I am talking about a record called Blackout the Sun by the mighty Seven Dust. I absolutely love Seven Dust. I was a huge fan of their music even before I met them a couple times. I got to hang out with them backstage. They invited us backstage on, I think, the Seasons tour. And they're just the nicest, most unbelievably cool guys you could ever hope to meet. So this is like one of those things I've talked on the show before, where if a musician is an asshole, it kind of like dampens my enthusiasm for their music. And this is the opposite. Like if a musician's cool, it makes me a bigger fan. It's one of the reasons I'm such a big Dream Theater guys, because they're just such nice people. And Seven Dust definitely falls under that category. But yeah, I love pretty much everything Seven Dust has done, which is ironic we're talking about them today, because tomorrow they're putting out a new record and it is really, really fucking good. I got to hear it early and it's really awesome. So, but yeah, so 2013 was Blackout the Sun. It's got some really great stuff on there, man. And I think this is a record where they kind of started branching out a little bit. There was, for them, there was some unique arrangements on a few of these things. There's a song called Till Death where they actually did thrash. It was like, I was like, whoa, okay, Seven Dust is doing some thrash. There we go. There's a song called Faithless on there. It's the opener. It's a pretty ferocious tune. I mean, it's just got huge hooks. Seven Dust is known for those big choruses and whatnot. Cold as War is an awesome song. The title track, Blackout the Sun, is a kind of like a mid-tempo, but it's, again, just big choruses everywhere. One of the singles, the song called Decay, it's just one of the just quintessential Seven Dust that staccato thing that they're known for. And I've seen that song live many times and it just crushes, man. And oh my God, this is a great record. And I think a lot of their most recent stuff since Clint's been back in the band tends to kind of, I think it's a little bit similar, which is not bad because I like it. So if it's a little bit similar, it means I like all of it. But this one, I think they started to kind of branch out a little bit and throw some more unique ideas in there. It's got really good production. It's you know, I think this is one of the hookier Seven Dust records. So I love this one. So Lee Walker says Seven Dust is my second favorite band. Excellent choice, Lee. Excellent choice and great taste. Seven Dust is awesome. So yeah, Blackout the Sun is the first one on my list. What do you have next on yours?
Well, at number 7, I have a band called Seven Dust with an album called Blackout the Sun.
No, you don't. Shut up.
I don't know if you've heard of this. No, I do. I swear.
No shit. Okay.
I do. I actually found some interesting things on this album, and maybe you know this and maybe you don't. But the guy that mastered this album, so kind of an interesting fact. 2002 was the first time that they had a category for mastering engineers for albums, right? Okay. This guy Ted Jensen mastered this album. Now listen to the people that he was. I don't know that he actually ever won, but he was nominated for 2003. Listen to this list of just like all over the place. 2003, Norah Jones. 2004, Evanescence. 2005, Green Day, American Idiot. In 2007, I think this is, well, you've said before, this is like one of your favorite live albums of all time. Ricky Martin, MTV Unplugged.
Fuck off, man.
I swear to God, I'm not making it up. That's on his list.
No, I'm saying, fuck you for saying I like it.
I know. But yeah, I mean, what a like a crazy, and he's also, I'm not going to say the other album. He's actually, this is even funnier. He's the engineer on another album that I have on my list, and it's probably one that you have as well, but we'll see.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I have a few notes, and I picked a couple different songs, or maybe a little more notes on some of the songs. But man, Faithless, an amazing almost opener, right? Because there's that musical interlude. Yeah. But man, did you notice on that song? There's like there's like 4 different parts that all match. There's like those cool marching drum parts. There's that guitar breakdown with that one little simple line. Then there's the heavy dissonant guitars. And then there's like that atmospheric thing with the vocals behind it. Like, it's like that's all in the same freaking song. It's so damn good. I don't think you mentioned this one, Mountain. Man, I love that splashy groove they kind of lay down with the drums and guitar, and that first on top of the mountain. Like, I don't know. It's that would be probably a dumb lyric for anyone else to say, but like Lejean, I mean, there's like 3 guys I can think of that they just fell out of bed and can sing. And like, I would say him, Doug Pinnick, and whether or not you're a country fan, like Chris Stapleton, like that dude's, it's just he just fell out of bed and you have this voice. You know what I mean? Like, it's just there. The tone is just there. I mean, you could probably say the same about Sammy Hagar, a different kind of singer too, but the tone is great, right? Blackout Sun, love that one. I picked a tune I really thought was cool was Dead Roses. There's that tempo change into the pre-chorus chorus.
Okay.
And another thing about Seven Dust, and you're way analyzing them more than me, but they don't do a lot of like just kind of ridiculous guitar solos, but man, there is a great solo in that song. Like, it just, I don't know, there's just something about the tone of it and the way it goes over the top of the groove. And not a band known for, we're gonna do a lot of great solos, but there's a killer one on that. And yeah, you mentioned Decay. I have like a playlist for my floor hockey to get me hyped up. It's so it's got like a lot of Lamb of God, Kill Switch, and Slipknot, and Decay's in there too, man. I mean, I love that echoey guitar over the chorus. It just kind of plows in your brain. It just keeps echoing. It's really echoing is what it does. It just gets stuck in there. And that's probably the last really big single they had, other than the 1 or 2 that are off this new one coming up here. But yeah, man. I mean, that's a solid album. I was surprised to know too. You probably know this, since this album came out. Do you know how many albums they've actually had?
Let me think. There's All I See Is War, I think it's called, or something. Trying to remember. I think Kill the Flaws before. Isn't there like 4 of them? It's Kill the Flaw, All I See Is War. They're gonna have this one. It's just called One. The last one was Truth Killer. Yeah.
Then there's the Time Travelers. But it's, if you count the new one, it's 6 albums like in 13 years. That's a pretty damn good output, man.
No, I completely agree. I mean, it's like you think about a band like Anthrax and you're like, okay, well, by the time their new record comes out later this year, it'll be 10 years. And those guys were already like 60 years old. They're like in their 50s. Like, now they're just killing a decade before they put out new music. Like, what the hell?
I was shocked. I mean, I don't want to say it's too many albums, but I was kind of with you. Like, sometimes they come out so fast and so quick, and you're like, "Oh crap, they're there and they're gone." You're like, "Here comes another one already." So I'm really pumped about this new one though, from what I heard and the way you're describing it. So I'm psyched to hear that.
Yeah, I really like it. I think the last one was awesome. Truth Killer is fantastic, and there's a song on there that I still have not stopped listening to. It's called "Can't Stop the Bleeding," and holy shit, man, like, it's so good. So yeah, Seven Dust is just awesome, man. Let's see, what do we got in the chat here before I get to mine? Kale says, next for me is an EP that I'm sure John will have, but John does not, Kale. Anthems by Anthrax, the covers from the worship music sessions featuring Rush and AC/DC. Great stuff there. Yeah, I didn't choose that, Kale, because I wasn't overly crazy about the song selections, and it was just an EP, so I was like, usually, if it's a full-length Anthrax record, though, that's going on the list. So Doug McCauley, his number 7 is Killswitch Engage, Disarm the Descent. Kind of meh from them, but I'd give it a few listens, he says. Rob Karkahangis is number 7, Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, Spectre at the Feast. And Kale says, Ted Jensen mastered Live at the Marquee, Awake Far Beyond Driven, and A Change of Seasons. So this shouldn't be the first time we're hearing this name. All right.
Interesting.
Well, I don't think Ted Jensen worked on this record. But the second one on my list was released on May 28th of 2013. It's a band I love. I started out as like a casual fan years and years ago. And the more I've listened over the years, I've just really, really just completely fallen in love with them. And it's just like, I don't think they really have a bad record. This is not my favorite record of theirs. It's a very mid-tempo and kind of can potentially get a little repetitive, but it's got the amazing harmonies this band is known for. and I think it's, the record people probably talk about the least, but I'm talking about The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here by Alice in Chains. I mean, the thing that stands out to me immediately is that I really like how they use William Duvall on the new Alice in Chains stuff, like the post Lane Staley. It's much more in like a harmonizing role that, because which I think is smart, because I think there would be those inevitable comparisons to Lane's voice, and I think they kind of avoid that. And I like how they do that. It like layers the Alice in Chains sound even more, to have like even more of those harmonies all over the place. As I said, I think this is, a mid-tempo record. The term that I would use for it is it's one of their, if not the most sludgy record. I think this one and the Three-Legged Dog one, self-titled, whatever you want to call it, the last studio record with Lane, they're definitely just like sludgy and slower and kind of heavy-ish. But I think it's a bunch of great songs, and it's interesting to me to listen to records like this, like the post Lane stuff, because you can tell what a great songwriter Jerry Cantrell is, and you can tell that Lane Staley brought the weird. And I mean, it's low hanging fruit to say, well, yeah, he brought the drugs. It was like whacked out. That's where all the weirdness came from. But
right.
I read a biography about them, and it talked a lot about the fact that the harmonies came from him. Like, he wrote all those. So when you hear all these really crazy, just all, like thirds and fifths and all this kind of goofy stuff they had going on, he was the one writing that thing and that stuff. And I think about a song, like I think it's the very last song they ever recorded with him, and it's called Died, of all things, but it was on that Seattle Music Box compilation big thing they had or something. And man, if you listen, it's, first of all, it's a really cool riff and everything, but man, his harmonies on there are wild. But in any case, the opening song of the record, Hollow, is awesome. Stone is a fantastic song. It's got a great riff. It's got a killer guitar solo. I think this is a record where if you like some of it, you'll probably enjoy all of it, because again, I think it gets a little bit repetitive, but it's Alice in Chains. That's another band. Whenever they put something out, I'm definitely listening to it. So yeah, big Alice in Chains guy as well. So I'm a big fan. Apparently Rob Carcahungus agrees. He says, good choice with Alice in Chains. So, all right, what do you got third on your list, man?
I have one of your all-time favorites here as well. It's the 2013 Outlaw Gentlemen and Shady Ladies from our buddies Volbeat.
You can count me out of this discussion.
Yeah, produced by Rob Caggiano, who was in Anthrax. Now I don't think he's in either band. I know he's not in Volbeat anymore.
No.
One of these rabbit holes I went down to see what else he did. He was nominated for a Grammy for producing one of our favorites, Cradle of Filth.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And Thornography. Yeah, which, I always laugh at their vocals, but their production on like the keyboards and the guitars and their production is always pretty damn killer, man. I mean, they sound like these huge, fat, giant goth albums. And he produced, what you and I we follow all of ourselves for We've Come For You All and Worship Music.
Yeah.
I know we love both of those. Look, I'm not going to make any apologies for this album. You either love it or you hate it with that Michael Paulson, right? Ooh. I mean, this is like what happens if Elvis puts on a cowboy hat and crashes through the one-horse town. The tumbleweeds and the hookers outnumber the cowboys. I don't know. He brings with him some fuzz and stomp boxes and blasts the Marshalls to 11. The band is slightly more rooted in rock metal than rockabilly, I guess, and it's going to end up sounding like this album. I just think it's a really unique sounding album, and I haven't heard one since. It sounds like it in song wise, and the opening track, Let's Shake Some Dust. It's kind of a staple right out of the Young Guns 2, Blaze of Glory. Their slide guitar, the Wild West theme. Very first song goes right into the Pearl Heart, which is a story about it's a true life story about a chick who, I think, one of the last known stagecoach robberies, or one of the only chicks to ever rob a stagecoach. So if you're going to get a song like that, what's a better topic, Right. Nameless One is a big fat chorus on this tune. Lola Montez, probably one of their biggest known hits. I mean, if you go on YouTube, it's one of those, like, I don't know, pick a song from any band. This is one of those where there's 4 million people did their own cover of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Black Bart, it's slide guitars, relentless tempo. I feel like the stagecoach, has just enough gas to get us through the 5-minute ride, but it's got these
Right.
chugging harmonic guitars. I don't know. They're able to sell this feel of this Wild West thing, like, with the shootout and the and these gunslingers and the way the guitars are. I don't know. It just sets the mood for me. The one weird song on here, even though I love it, is this Room 24 that has King Diamond of all people. It's like,
wow, okay.
yeah, and it's like, so we have this entire album dedicated to lifestyle and themes of the Wild Wild West. So let's get King Diamond on board, to do like his devilish wails throughout. It makes perfect sense. I mean, said no one ever, but I don't know. There's cool guitar solos, and I don't know. He brings his evil he's doing his wailing on, and it just sounds like King Diamond wailing away on a behind a cool rock tune, and it
Right.
works fine. It's just a little weird for me. I don't know how that came about exactly, but yeah. So I guess I would say, if anyone's never checked out this band and they want to know where to start, I think this would be the album to go to. I think it's just got the most catchiness. The riffs are great, and just a cool theme throughout. And again, it's a vocal style that you either absolutely love or you absolutely hate. There's not going to be any middle ground.
Yeah. I have to take umbrage with something Kale just put in the chat. He says, but to make up for Megadeth, yeah, because Super Collider, it's definitely not on this list. How about we go with the final Sabbath album, and the only one in my life, his life, he means, 13. It doesn't get the love it deserves, but 13 is a brilliant album and great ending. And no, I am a Sabbath fan, Kale, and I'm going to call you on that one. That is not a good record. It is extremely derivative. I was going to put it on my list because I hadn't listened to it in years. I remembered not liking it, and I'm like, well, maybe I missed something. I'll go back. Yeah, no. It's derivative of other songs they did. It definitely just did not land, at least for me. I think Tony Iommi and everybody they nailed it for the, Heaven and Hell record with Dio, and this 13 with Ozzy, just not good. So not a fan.
Well, you and I had a discussion about it last night.
Yeah.
We didn't want to ruin it all before that, but yeah, I mean, just remember like the videos of that whole thing with like what's his face, Rick Rubin laying down and listening, and it's like, I don't know, maybe you should have been standing up or more awake.
Yeah.
Well, I just didn't get it. I don't know. I didn't understand it.
No, and I think, and I'm not saying like Ozzy is some brilliant lyricist, but like, his lyrics have been fine. They've been good. But on this one, it's just like there's some really cringeworthy stuff. I'm like, what are you? It's like he's trying too hard to be Black Sabbath Ozzy instead of just being a little more natural, I think. And it's, man.
Well, it started with that whole concept of Rubin going, what they really were was a blues band. No.
Yeah.
No, we don't want to hear Black Sabbath playing experimental blues, even if it's heavy. Like, it's just not, give us our fucking Iron Man and our Paranoids, and our Wizards and
yeah. JG3 says Sabbath 13 is a very good record. I think John just hates post 2000 Ozzy. No, I don't hate post 2000 Ozzy. I just don't think he really did much that was really memorable after that. And maybe it's a product of just how legendary the other stuff is. I don't know. I don't think he had a lot of great output after No More Tears. I mean, Osmosis was pretty decent, but I think the last great Ozzy record was No More Tears. So that just my take.
Well, we've said before, like, it's almost worse to be boring. Like, so like you said, you went back and checked it out. I didn't bother because I've gone back before, and it's like, that's the thing. I go back and I check it out, and then 5 minutes later, I'm like, I don't remember a thing I listened to. Like, what I mean? Like, nothing grabbed me at all. And I don't know if it's one of those, if I literally sat there and it was pounded into my brain for 9 hours, I'd go, oh, okay, now I get it, maybe. But I'm not about to devote the time to that. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it's like you have to try to get into it. It doesn't immediately just just kind of like pull you in. I mean the opening track, I forget what it is, but dude, I'm like, this is just Black Sabbath, the song. I'm like, it's like a redone version of it. So I don't know. That is definitely not number 3 on my list. But what is number 3 on my list was released on June 24th of 2013. And I'm wondering if you have this on your list. It is the resurrection of this band. Thank God for Mr. Todd La Torre, as you said earlier. I am talking about the first Todd La Torre Queensryche record, simply titled Queensryche. Yeah, this was a return to form, to use a complete and total cliche. Yeah, it was so refreshing to hear this, because we had seen the live videos of La Torre when they were, what were they called, like Rising West or something like that, after the strike thing. And we had seen live videos of La Torre doing the old stuff, and you're like, oh my God, that sounds like Jeff Tate in like 87. So when they announced, yeah, we're doing a record, he's our new singer, and we're called Queensryche, it's like, okay, well, are they going to do stuff like that? And when they put this out, yeah, they definitely did. I think this is the weakest of the La Torre records, but I also think it's because it's a little safe. He doesn't really do any of the huge high screaming vocals that he does on the other records. I think he's more secure in his footing as the singer of Queensryche, but they're still great. I think if my only complaint about this record is that the production is a little high endy. It's a little grating on your ears in the high end. But other than that, I mean, shit, dude, this, like I said earlier, this album, it would be a win, even just for the fact that it stopped that trash streak that they had of just a string of terrible albums. But I know for me, as soon as I heard the third song, In This Light, I was like, yes, okay, Queensryche is back. This is a Queensryche song. This is a Queensryche record. It's got some great stuff on here. Vindication, Spore, as I said, In This Light. A World Without is an awesome song. And, you said, like, you told Todd La Torre, you saved the band, man. Like, yeah, he really did. He made it okay for Michael Wilton to start writing Queensryche songs again and not having to do the Jeff Tate, look how creative I am bullshit. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I like this, but as I said, I think this is the weakest of the La Torre records. I think they got stronger I think they get stronger as they go. And we did a deep dive into Digital Noise Alliance, and that record is amazing. To me, that's their best record since Empire or Promised Land. So great stuff. And by the way, speaking of Jeff Tate and Queensryche, our next episode is going to be, let me think of the date. It will be Thursday, May 14th at 7:30, and we are going to be doing a deep dive into Operation Mindcrime 3, which comes out a couple days from now on Sunday, May 3rd. Why it comes out on a Sunday, I don't know, but yeah, we are going to be deep diving Operation Mindcrime 3 on our next episode. So a little tease for what we got coming up. But yeah, my third record is the self-titled Queensryche record, the resurrection of the band, thanks to Mr. Todd La Torre. So, all right, so you said that there was a chat comment that you wanted me to get to here. Let's see here. Is it the JLB one?
Yeah.
Oh. So Doug says, yes, I love the JLB albums, but it's no shades of gay. What the fuck? That's so mean, dude. Oh my God. JG3, he says that the production on the Queensryche record is terrible. And he says the first Todd La Torre record is an excellent album with one of the worst mastering jobs put to tape. Yeah, it sounds like they cranked the gain in just the high end, doesn't it? I mean, that was weird. Yeah.
Full disclosure. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. So Kale says that he thinks that Oops, sorry, no, this is Jay again. Jay says, I suspect the production was rushed because Jeff Tate was putting out his version of Queensryche, the album Frequency Unknown, otherwise basically known as Fuck You. I mean, it is. I mean, he's got what? He's got the fist on the cover and, the FU on the, it's like, yeah, okay. All right. So anyways, all right. So what were you going to say? And then let's get to your number 4.
Full disclosure, I missed this one. I feel pretty dumb now.
I wondered.
You know what's weird though? Like sometimes they'll play, though they didn't play it on the cruise. That was it Arrow of Time or whatever?
Yes.
That song, yeah. And I know that I went on record saying he totally saved the band, and this is a decent album. I'm not so much a fan of there was 2 more before Digital Noise Alliance, wasn't there?
Yeah, The Verdict and Condition Human.
Yeah, and I was not. I just thought those were meh, and we did that deep dive, and we got to go see them play. What they played, I think 3 songs from Digital Noise Alliance.
Yeah,
and the more we listen to it, you and I keep going back to that. We're just like, it's kind of hard to go back and listen to these other Latore ones because I mean that to me it's just so damn good. It's just like,
yeah,
it's kind of like discovering a band. You discover them at point A, and everyone's like, yeah, but you missed like whatever, and you're like, and you hear it and you go, well, yeah, that seems like when they were growing and it was okay, but this is when they got to their apex or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I caught them when they're they're in the prime of their career here, and that's kind of what the Digital Noise Alliance has meant for me. So it's kind of hard to go back and listen to these, but I do want to go back and listen to this first one again because I think the first one and a little bit disagreement. I think the first one and the last one are the 2 best ones.
Okay.
But and interesting about the production, I don't remember that. Another funny thing is if you look at it, it's only 35 minutes with 11 songs. That's like short as hell songs. Which I don't remember all those songs being that short, but I must have totally forgot what went on there.
I didn't either. And I think they played it a little safe on this. And I don't know if that was intentional or whatnot, but being the first, okay, here's the first Queensryche record without Jeff Tate. It sounded like the classic Queensryche sound, but they didn't really do anything that was really too far out of the box, which is fine. Because again, this record's a win just for the fact that it's not anything like what happened from Here in the Now Frontier to Dedicated to Chaos. So it's beautiful for that, but it is the safest of the records. But I still think it lands really well. So
there's an interesting point JG makes about trusted the material they wrote and backed it up. So go ahead and you can read that real quick.
Yeah, he says, I really think they should have trusted the material they wrote and backed it by performing it live. The new Queensryche is great, but they basically perform all old classics and don't support the new stuff. The only thing I would say to that, Doug, is, or Jay, excuse me. Brian and I go see them every time they come around, and the newer songs, they don't, like, I think a good portion of the crowd is there just to see the classics. Because when they do play the newer stuff, people are like, yay. Okay, well, here's I Don't Believe in Love. Yay! Like, it's the age-old problem of, these legacy bands putting out new material and people being like, oh, okay, I'll listen to it in the car. But then when I get to the show, like, give me all the hits.
Well, especially when you've got stuff like Mindcrime and Empire back to back. I mean, how are you going to do a show where you're not playing, I don't know, 8 songs from those at least, what I mean? I mean, it's just going to be, it's a good problem to have, right? I mean,
exactly. Well, yeah, and dude, and with those albums, and then we'll get to your number 4, and then I gotta get a one chat comment here. But with those records, I mean, even if you're not playing the quote unquote hits, like if you're not playing, I don't know, Jet City Woman or Silent Lucidity or I Don't Believe in Love or Eyes of a Stranger, like even if you pull out something wonky like, Hand on Heart or, Sweet Sister Mary or something, like something you might consider a B-side from those records, people are going to love it because those records are so goddamn good that you can play anything off of them and they're awesome. So when you have the ability to pull that much great material from just a couple of records, to use those spots in a set list to say, hey, here's this new thing that nobody really cares about, like it is difficult. So before we get to your number 4, a very good friend is checking in. It's our good buddy Luke the Composer. Says, hey, everyone, I'm back. Sorry for not being on lately. Been crazy busy. Great to see you, bro. Great to see you. Hopefully you're working on getting that electric amp for your for your cello there, so that you can actually play for us again at the fan hangout this year. So make sure you're doing that. So, all right. So what do you have at number as the fourth one on your list?
Let's see. Am I 4 or 5?
4.
I'm at 5. 5.
Oh, you are at 5. Okay. All right.
Yeah. This is probably the only other repeat we've got here. I got The Devil Put Dinosaurs here.
Interesting. Okay.
And this is the album that the same dude that engineered the Seven Dust engineered this one too, which is really weird.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, you brought up the fact that this the sludgiest, dreariest album, I guess.
Yeah.
12 songs, 67 minutes. Let's just be honest. That's too long, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is coming from you and I who host Dream Theater podcast, right? There's no such things. I mean, so there's an interesting thing about this album for me, and I want to see if you agree to it. So I don't really remember any of these songs a couple hours after I listened to it, and I've heard this album multiple times. But every single time I do put this in, I get sucked into the vocals and the guitars. I go, oh man, this is really good.
Yeah.
And I'm making an analogy here, and it's similar to the Metallica stuff, but the issue is, especially like that last album, they would put out some singles, be like, oh, that's a pretty cool riff, right? But then I go back and I listen to the album and I don't remember it at all, really, right?
Mm-hmm.
An hour later. And then I put the album on again and I go, it's not grabbing me like that very first time I heard it, because it's just too repetitive and they don't have that ridiculously cool harmony thing, right? That William and Jerry Cantrell do, and for me, it's an interesting album in that sense of, like I said, I don't really necessarily remember the songs, but I go back and when it starts, I just get hooked into that, just those haunting harmonies and those sludgy guitars he does.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, Hollow, man, that's a great song. I love the tension on the vocals on that one.
Yep.
Stone, you mentioned that one. I really like that tune, Voices. It's kind of I don't know, maybe a poor man's No Excuses. It's way more No Excuses than Man in the Box, right? It's more lightweight.
Mm-hmm.
The title track, I mean, shocker, there's an eerie drone that starts out an Alice in Chains song, right? They never do that,
breaking new ground.
Yeah, but that tune, Lab Monkey, man, the chorus, it's like, I had enough, I don't need you to stick my hide. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds cool. And he's like, I had enough, no more tears for me to cry. I don't know, they do these cool little turns of phrases and you don't necessarily know what they mean, but yeah, just a really long, dark, like sludge of an album. And I don't, let's be real, none of us are going to probably sit here and go listen to that 67 minutes of it back to back to back, and the whole thing. But it was cool going back and remembering, like, man, there is great stuff on here. I mean, just like you said, what he brings to the band, it's like he doesn't do a ton of just lead with just him. I think there's some stuff where Jerry does lead, vocals, but just the way they blend those voices, it just, I don't know, there's something about it it takes, I don't want to say it takes what he and Lane did a step further, but it's unique in its own sense, right? It doesn't quite sound the same, but it's still totally Alice in Chains.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think you make a good point about, like, you don't really remember it after you listen to it, but when you go back, you're like, oh, this is good. And I think that's what sets it apart from the other two William Duvall records, because I can name you a lot of songs off of Black Gives Way to Blue and also Rainier Fog. I think they're catchier. I mean, obviously, Check My Brain was, the single from, Black Gives Way to Blue. Your Decision is on there. I mean, the title track is one of the saddest things you'll ever hear, because it's a song that Jerry Cantrell wrote to Lane Staley.
Right.
Rainier Fog. It's got Red Giant, which is cool. Never Fade, which is like kind of like a quote unquote radio-ish song. But I mean, you can't really go wrong with Alice in Chains. You really can't. I mean, they don't have a bad album. So, next on my list, I've got 4 left before I get to my number 1 of the year. This one, I bet you don't have. I bet nobody has. This was a record that was released on September 10th of 2013, and I discovered this band by seeing them live opening for Seven Dust and we were at the House of Blues, and it was me and my wife and my stepson. So at the time, he would have only been 12, 13, something like that. But the band is awesome live, and we actually went to see him another time at the Outpost in Kent with Nonpoint. But it is an album. It's their debut album. The album is called Lux, Lux, and the band is Gemini Syndrome. And they're still around. They're still playing and everything. It's like, I guess it's like modernized new metal, I guess you would say. I don't know. Have you ever listened to this band at all, Brian? Are you familiar with them?
I'm beyond super annoyed because I absolutely love this album and I missed it. But that's okay. I can still comment on it because I know it pretty well.
So you got to just change up your list on the fly instead of being like, oh, I should have had this. Go, oh my god, I had this too. Like boot something off your list.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. No, I'll let you talk about it a little bit too. But yeah, I mean, I love the guy's voice, man. Like Aaron, I think his last name is Nordstrom. Aaron Nordstrom, I want to say. Just great voice, very cool lyrics. The guy's a great lyricist. Again, they're really good live. There's some real bangers on this one. Pleasure and Pain, the opening song, is just really fucking cool, man. It just drives. Falling Apart is great. Stardust. There's a song called Pay for This, which is awesome. Yeah, I really like these guys. And they kind of got relegated to that band that because you've seen them open for all of your other favorite kind of like new metal bands that are still out there doing it type of a thing. But yeah, great record, and the stuff after this album is good. But yeah, this is an awesome record, man. I'm glad that you like it too, man.
So just clarifying, you saw the one where they opened at House of Blues for Seven Dust, or no?
That is correct. We were right up against the barrier. We have an awesome picture of the drummer with my stepson. He was thrilled because I think it was the first time he ever met a quote unquote rock star. So he was pretty thrilled.
Yeah, Bob and I were at that show. That was the first time I got to see Seven Dust. And yeah, I was blown away. I think we had already been hipped to this album before we went, so we were pretty pumped to see them. And isn't he like an albino or something? He's like a giant, he looks like a wizard. He's got that real long hair, and he's like 10 or 15 years older than the rest of the band or something.
Yeah, I don't think he's an actual albino, but bands always
like a wizard.
All black. Yeah, he does the opposite. Like he dyes his beard white, his hair is white, like all of his clothes are all white. Like
yeah.
Look at Doug McCauley. Rockstar is a loose term there, John. Well, Doug, to a 12 or 13-year-old who's actually has a guy he just watched play on stage for 40 minutes, come down and give him a hug and talk to him and give him drumsticks and stuff. That's to a 12 or 13-year-old. That's a rock star, man. So
yeah, I think the cool thing about this band, they're able to churn out, it's similar to Seven Dust, like that 3.5 to 4 minute and 15-second, song with just a bunch of hooks, and you just kind of get in, you get out. They color enough little keyboards or little things behind some of the guitars. But I love the guitar stuff, like you said. I absolutely love that song "Morning Star." It's really cool.
Yeah,
I can't remember which one is it. Left of Me. I think that's the one that kind of reminds me a little bit of. There's a little bit of Tool thing going on there, and but it's like the cheap version. I don't want to say cheap, but like the dumbed down version, not like the super advanced Tool, but the way the rhythm's going, the way he's singing kind of reminds me of Maynard. And that song Babylon is fucking great. Like you said, Resurrection is awesome. The very first one, Pleasure and Pain. It was what's even funnier about this band is I was trying to think back, and this was like 2 weeks ago, and I was going, I never really followed up with them. So I started listening to, I guess, the album after this. Is there only 2 albums after this? I don't know how much research you did on
this was the first part in a trilogy, but I think they have another album after that. I think it's more than just the.
Okay, I didn't even know it was a trilogy, but I listened to, I guess, the second or third one. And I thought it was decent, but yeah, this album, man, it's like there's no skipper on it, and it's really hard for me to find okay, this is a 13-year-old album, right? But
yeah,
any newer album, I'll say in the last 20 years where I just go, man, I'm ready for the next song. I'm ready for the next song. I'm ready for the next song. You know what? Let's just go ahead and play the whole thing again. This is one of those albums for me. I love this band. I think they're great live. I think they kind of, I don't want to say they've been host, but they should be way bigger than they are.
Yeah, they're definitely better than a lot of other bands I've seen in their spot. So yeah, I would tend to agree with you. All right. Well, I'm going to do. What do you have next, by the way? Because my next one, I'm actually going to do two, because I think I skipped one. So I'll do two for my next one. But
let's see. Well, I have a bunch that no one's going to care about. Definitely, no one's going to care about this one. But I'm on record as saying I love the band Boston, even though it's not really a band, right? It's kind of Tom Schultz. This is their last album they did. I don't think they're ever going to do another one. I don't know. Boston's a strange band because it's like, if you like drums, you absolutely are going to hate the last 3 albums they did. It's like drum machines, or some songs where you're not even sure, is there even a drum machine going with this? There's really not a true bass guitar going with the stuff. It's all built over Tom Schultz plugging in that Les Paul into that Rockman, which he invented, which, gives that just huge, like almost a symphonic sound to the guitar, right? It's the last thing that Brad Delp is on. And, I think Chris was the one that Aiken told us, like, remember kids, a grilled charcoal or propane, that don't use those in the bedroom, right?
Yes, he's such an ass.
But, the first time I ever even heard like that song, More Than a Feeling, I was like, what the hell is this? And I was, I'm older than you. So, and I didn't even hear it when it first came out. So I think it came out like 76 and I heard it in like 78, but I was still like just blown away. Like, it just, the way those guitars sound, they just sound with those harmonies, it's just like a full blown symphony. And I don't know. It again, if you want to hear like a full band, this probably sounds more like demos to most people, but I just love the way the guitars and the vocals are. Heaven on Earth. It's like, again, he's got that Les Paul going through his Rockman. There's like 25 layers of backing harmonies on this just 4-minute pop song. Didn't Mean to Fall in Love. He has that other staple that he does where he'll use like a Hammond B3 or some synthesizers. And it's got that Boston breakdown where it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you've heard it 5 million times and they just twist the riff around a little bit, but it still works in all their songs. So who freaking cares, Last Day of School, it's instrumental. It almost kind of sounds like a kid practicing, but it still feels like the last day of school. It's like, again, you get this like trumpety guitar thing. And I don't know. I'm guessing most people on this podcast will probably put this album on and wouldn't last 5 seconds listening to it. Like, it's not stupid, but it's a guilty pleasure for me.
Yeah, Rob Carcahagas, man. He says Boston is a surprise. The song or two with the female vocals feels wrong for Boston.
Yeah, I can't tell on some of these who's singing this. There is an obvious one. This one, I think probably talking this song, If You Were in Love, that's definitely a chick singing it. This is a guilty pleasure for sure. It's about the hokiest thing ever. But I love this guitar driving riff. They do a thing that's always kind of annoying for bands. They basically record and rearrange a song from corporate America called "You Gave Up on Love," but it's one of their biggest choruses and harmonies ever, and so it's pretty cool. But again, it's just got like the ear candy with those harmonies. They just worm your way into your ear, and they just keep saying the same thing over and over, and there's nothing like musically incredible about it. But I don't know, I just, something about their soaring harmonies and guitar, I just always kind of start smiling, and I just always love Boston, and this is my last chance to probably hear them do anything, because they're not going to do anything else. So
yeah,
so there it is.
All right. Doug McCauley says, my next one will divide the chat like an orange politician. You want to amend that and say it'll divide the chat room like the U.S.'s gas prices currently? Did you drive past a gas station for anything today?
No, I heard watching the news, I felt dumber because the chick was like, It's at $4.99 right now, which is almost as close to $5 as you can get.
Gee, you think? Yeah,
I'm like, what? She's done some good math.
Yeah, it's $4.99 out here. I was just like, dude, we're $5 a gallon. You got to be kidding me. So, oh well. In any case, man, there's some really good stuff here. The chat is just ripping off album after album. I'll have to bring some of these up in a minute. But how many do you have left on your list? Because I have my top album for the year, and then I've got 3 more, but 2 of them are live records.
Let's see. I think I have 3.
Oh, I have 3 as well. All right, then. All right. Well, I won't go too long into the live records, but the first one was released on September 24th of 2013. It is one of the greatest albums in thrash metal history. So this, I guess, could be considered kind of a cheat. But yeah, this is Countdown to Extinction Live, Megadeth. I've seen some fans kind of ding it because Dave tunes down. But, I mean, look, all the singers do it eventually. And it just makes an awesome album sound even heavier. And I'm a huge fan. The other live tracks on here, I think, leave something to be desired because there's Trust, which I just, yeah, we get it. You're trying to do Enter Sandman. You've got your Hangar 18 and, just typical stuff. But they did also put, because this was like the record they had put out, for this was 13. And so they did that Public Enemy #1 song, which is cool to hear live because I like that tune. But yeah, obviously the highlight is the entire Countdown to Extinction record. And I mean, that's basically just an untouchably fucking perfect album. And to hear it tuned down so that it's even heavier is just awesome.
So who's on guitar on this?
This was it Kiko? Did they have Kiko Loureiro at this point? I see. I do have one complaint. Let me look this. Yeah, I think it was Kiko.
So this wasn't a bring back Marty to record this or anything like that. Okay.
No, this is a live record. I know it was Sean Drover on drums, and that's my one complaint. Okay, this was Chris Broderick. Sorry, I stand corrected. It was Chris Broderick.
Okay.
I tell you what. Thank you, thank you, JG and Kale. They corrected me there. I was not a Sean Drover fan. He simplified some of the drum parts on the classic stuff, and that always pisses me off. It's like, I don't want your stupid interpretation. Play the goddamn song how it's supposed to be played. And don't simplify it. Like Megadeth, you don't simplify. You play what's there. I mean, they have a history of having phenomenal drummers, especially when you're talking about Gar Samuelson and Nick Menza and stuff. Don't mess with that stuff. But he did here and there. It was minor, but I get annoyed even with the minor stuff. Other than that, it's just awesome. I mean, when you get like Psychotron and Ashes in Your Mouth and Architecture of Aggression, which is one of my all-time favorite Megadeth tunes, and they're like tuned down a step all of a sudden, like that's just awesome. So yeah, big fan of the live version of Countdown to Extinction. So what do you have next on your list?
Well, let's see. I've got this. I think I had like 5 of your all-time favorites on this. So no shock, and this was brought up by 1 or 2 other people. I'm not sure who had Alter Bridge Fortress.
Good call, Kale.
Many Alter Bridge fans will put this probably in their top 2, if not their all-time favorite album. And I think it's probably because, man, the opening track and the ending track are just 2 of their biggest bangers, and they're the kind of songs you hope they always play live, but they don't necessarily do that. But the big single off here was "Addicted to Pain." Huge, massive riff on that one. I love it. Lover. This is Lava, an amazing cover of that Michael Stanley song. Remember that song, Lava? No, it's actually Lover.
That's Lava.
Lava. That song always cracked me up. It's if you're not from Cleveland, nobody has any idea what we're talking about, right?
Yeah,
Um,
right.
the song's called Lover. It's a huge chorus too. Miles is singing way up there in the stratosphere. Pieces broken, man. There's a great staccato kind of metal riffing opening this one. Tremonti always gets in on singing a tune or two. I sometimes not a fan of it, but Waters Rising I think is a great vocal take. They're just really good at mixing those clean, echoey kind of riffs. Sort of sounds like acoustic guitar sometimes, super clean, and then next thing you know, they turn on the distortion, the fuzz, and they mix that stuff together. And you would probably like this song, "All Ends Well." It's one of their best ballads. Miles just crushes the chorus on this one. It's a great live song. And you end it with the title track. I mean, one of my favorite ending tracks on any album of all time. Again, they're just able to mix those clean guitars with the heavy accents and chords. It's just a song that builds and just really emotional. It's kind of cool. It halfway through, it sort of kicks into this double time, real sort of metal chugging riff. It kind of comes out of nowhere, and some of the Tremonti's best soloing, and just wraps up with this huge chorus at the Miles singing at the top of his lungs, and maybe for my money, maybe his best vocal album, because he's able to do all that high stuff, and it still has the depth and the fullness to it. Sometimes when you start singing super high like that, and it's, Father Time's undefeated. It starts getting a little thin on some of the later albums, a little thinner. But yeah, man. I mean, most people if I would tell someone to start with an Alter Bridge album, maybe I would say Blackbird, but I also might say Fortress, and that's it. Alter Bridge Fortress number 3.
Awesome. Yeah, I am not an Alter Bridge guy, so I'm not good with that. What I am good with is another live record, and I think this is a band that you absolutely love as well. Speaking of bands that absolutely annihilate live, I have a beef with their lead singer, who's one of my all-time favorite singers. They announced his autobiography yesterday, and the thing is 224 pages. That's a freaking pamphlet. That's nothing. It's gonna be like Matt Sorum's biography, which was the most pointless waste of paper I've ever read. Yeah, this record is awesome because this band has a few live albums, and they tend to really just lean on the hits and the classics. So if you kind of heard one, you heard them all. Mike Lamont, great to see. He goes, love a great course. Nice. Yeah, this live album actually kind of it's got a good mix of new stuff and old stuff. So I really like the set list on this one. I am talking about a live record released on October 15th of 2013. It is Dark Roots of Thrash by Testament. This has great production, a great set list. It just rips, man. You get, kind of like a deep cut Riding the Snake is on here. And they picked some great stuff off of, the Dark Roots of Earth album, some of the other newer ones, and Formation of Damnation and stuff. And it's just a great blend. And the band is tighter than All Holy Hell, of course. And it's just fucking heavy, man. Testament, as popular as they are, I think that they are still a little bit underrated. I think that they could be more popular than they are. I really do. But what do I know? But I love Testament. I know you do too. I know you're a big Testament guy. So yeah, I have their live record on here because it's absolutely incredible. So
I think you turned me onto this album like 5-6 years ago. I never even knew it existed. I'd kind of sort of lost track of them, for quite a while there.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know what, 4 or 5 years ago, they started putting out a pretty good, decent album every couple of years. And either you or Bob, I think it was you turned me on to this, and I started listening. And I got to like that. I was pulling up now, like that like that 3 or 4 song thing where it's like burnt offerings into native blood into true American hate. I was like,
Yeah.
holy crap, this is freaking amazing. And I hadn't heard some of
Yeah.
that stuff. But full disclosure, because I sort of just dropped off and I'm like, this is great. I mean, the energy from that live show just totally translated to the album there.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely if you guys are Testament people or metal people and you haven't checked this out, it is a unbelievably great live record. So make sure you check that one out. So all right, what do you have next on your list?
Oh, I've got another one of your favorites here. This is Stone Sour, House of Golden Bones 2.
That's a band I keep meaning to try to get into.
Oh man, I think you would like this. I don't know. I get it with the Corey Taylor, you know, it's kind of a hate him or love him kind of guy. But man, this dude can flat out write and interpret and weave his way through a multitude of styles, and really these two House of Golden Bones out. I always kind of lean more to this part two. I don't know why. I think Hurd was the one that turned me on to this. He had it playing one day, and I was like, "What is that stuff?" Because I kind of thought I didn't like Stone Sour, and I still don't think I like him. Again, it's one of these things you come into a band at whatever point, and you're like, "Okay, well, this sounds better than the old stuff to me." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And this is still an older album, obviously, but yeah, man, I don't know, man. It's just like you get like these great kind of punching riffs and double bass drum kicks and polyrhythmic accents and stuff. There's just this power that punches you in the gut, but they set it up with there's mellow atmospheric stuff too, and just able to blend it like another band where some of these songs I throw on my get me pumped up to go play hockey or go running. The second song, Black John, has these great thundering drums into this killer guitar groove. Peck and Paw, I think you might like this one. There's a real slow groove with these great clean guitars, and then there's these kind of elements of piano, and then there's this blistering metal guitar onslaught, like goes a little bit more towards Slipknot than Stone Sour, but then it's just real brief, you know. It doesn't go on and on and on. Gravesend, I mean, there's a great groove with some, clean vocals, and he's just singing his butt off on this. 82 sounds kind of like a mix of 80s rock with STP. There's a little bit of synth on top of this one riff. The big hit on here is Do Me a Favor. You might have heard that one. But to me, it's kind of one of those songs where it's like, remember like More Than Words Extreme and then the rest of Porno Graffiti? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's not quite to that degree, but it's not a bad song. I like the song, but to me, it doesn't fit the sort of dark mood of this album where it's like, man, right around every corner, you're just like, there's something that's going to jump out and kind of scare you in a good way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
The Conflagration is a really awesome ballad. It's got strings, piano, and then they just sprinkle in enough heavy guitars so it doesn't go totally off the rails, and get sappy. And the title track, House of Golden Bones, man, it's just a great crushing guitar riff. And again, it's just like this one has, I'm not sure how many it's so this is an example of how you do things. It's 12 songs, but it's just right at 51 minutes. So nothing is, you know what I mean? It's like I just don't really think there's any filler on this album, and nothing goes too long, and nothing gets like, oh god, we're too heavy, we're trying to be Slipknot. Nothing gets too lightweight to we're trying to be adult, rock or something. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't know. It's just to me, it's kind of a master class in writing songs and a style that's super unique. And I don't know. I'll send you a couple. Maybe you'll listen to them. Maybe you won't, but you probably won't know it.
No, I mean, Doug McCauley says I'd take Stone Sour over Shit Not. No, I mean, they're not a band I dislike. Like I think it is the Corey Taylor thing for me, because I actually really like his voice. I like his scream. He's one of the very few scream singers that I like.
Yeah.
I think it's like you can definitely tell he's actually like screaming his head off. It's not like just kind of crunching up his throat, and his singing voice is great.
Yeah.
I just I don't know. Like sometimes he comes across douchey and preachy, and I'm just not okay. So, but I like everyone's told me like, dude, you would like it. So I've got to try and get into it, and I like their covers records. I mean,
Oh
they
yeah,
did
his
some,
cover stuff he does is amazing. You know, he can sing that 80s
yeah.
shit like nobody. It's just like, how
Yep.
can you sing all this stuff? It's stupid.
Yeah, I've got what is the one that I actually have in my library? It's the one that's got Heading Out to the Highway, Creeping Death, We Die Young. I forget what the other ones are, but I mean, he just rips them, dude. They're really cool.
Yep.
So, yeah. All right, so I have one more before I get to my favorite record of 2013, and this one is definitely going to be the weirdest one. I've mentioned this artist before in a previous year we did, and I am a monstrous fan of his voice. This record is interesting. I think this is where he started to lose some fans and gain some different ones. This is an album called Baptized by Daughtry, and it is very different from the prior records because those were actually like rock albums. You know, if you want to call them light rock, whatever. This is very like top 40, all synth, like very much like your mom would get into it type of a thing, you know. But it's really, really catchy. I mean, his voice is awesome. The guy can write a chorus like nobody else. It's got some absolutely fantastic songs. Like I said, I'm a huge Daughtry guy. Baptized is awesome. Battleships. There's a song called Broken Arrows, which is just kind of like a very plaintive piano type ballad thing that's just beautiful. It's got one of his biggest hits on here. It's called Waiting for Superman, which is just an awesome song. But I actually prefer, there's an acoustic version he did for Billboard, and it's just him and his piano player. So he's playing acoustic guitar and then his piano player, and they're both, you know, doing the vocals. And that version of the song is amazing. I love the songs, but the presentation, just like the synthy, sappy, like 104.1 FM like type of delivery, I'm not really a fan of. I prefer when he's more organic and playing rock tunes. But that having been said, there's some great songs on here. His voice is just absolutely beautiful to me. Big Daughtry fan. And again, this is where he kind of turned a little bit for an album or two or three. Now he's back to doing like heavier stuff, but it's kind of combined with a little bit of that electronic thing. So he's kind of combined both styles recently. But yeah, this one was definitely kind of a turn. When I first heard this one, I was like, oh God, I don't know about this. But the more I've listened to it over the years, like I've softened to it, and I do listen to it. This is kind of like if I want to hear Daughtry on the way home from a concert, or especially one of my gigs, this is the one I put in because it's mellow. It's not blasting my ears out. It's not, you know, it's just a mellow, good, catchy listen. Yeah. Cale McLeish. This would be around the time they made Lois Griffin a mega fan. Yeah. Doug McCauley's voting for an album you mentioned earlier. He's talking about that Volbeat record. It's one more Volbeat, Outlaw Gentlemen and Shady Ladies, just for the LOLs. I can't take the singing seriously, but it's fun. Yeah, I hate that guy's voice. I can't stand that band. So glad that you guys enjoy it. It is not my cup of tea. So you said you've got one more on your list?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you played me on one of our road trips that Daughtry, the stripped down Waiting for Superman. I thought that was freaking amazing. Like I was just like, wait. I mean, I wouldn't a million years known. Like if you just played it out of blue, I would have had no clue it was Daughtry. I mean, I guess maybe if I sat and thought about it, but I wouldn't have known, you know, because I wasn't quite into it as much as you are. But that was a cool version for sure.
Yeah, we have to add that to Bones for Dogs. I love doing that one. That's cool.
Oh, we can do that.
So
all right. So yeah, this has been brought up multiple times by multiple people, and I'm sure it's no shocker to you. I do have what I will disagree with. Was it Doug? He said he thought the album was meh. Killswitch Engage, Disarm the Descent, I think is possibly their best album. It was the return of Jesse Leach. It was a weird thing in that he legit auditioned to get his job back. Like they auditioned a bunch of people.
Really?
And yeah,
I didn't
he
know
did.
that.
Yeah, he auditioned, and I think he even kind of told the guys, look, don't just pick me because it's me. And he had sort of changed his singing style a little bit, and I don't know if he was like born again, but he went through a lot of mental stuff, and he was he was kind of getting it together. And I mean, it just starts right off with the Hell in Me. Like the first, like, if you're into this band, the first like 7 songs on here, like you could just, they play probably 3 or 4 of them almost every show. Um, Beyond the Flames, I mean, just these guitar riffs just come flying right off the album, and you're just bopping along to them. Like, I just wish I had written these riffs. To me, they're just so freaking cool. New Awakening is great. I mean, and they're all, again, the longest song is 4 minutes and 2 seconds. I mean, you're in, you're out, and they're masters too at that. They get that super mellow bridge, where he chills out and sings clean, and he's screaming his brains out again, or Adam D's screaming, whoever, they take turns, whatever. But they always get a good enough verse and a good enough chorus to just get you going. And I don't know how many times I've put this album on, and basically, maybe not the whole thing, but the first probably 8 to 10 songs, I'll go running in the woods, and if I'm doing my normal run or whatever that takes about 35 minutes, this pretty much gets me through it for the most part. And it's like it never happened. I don't even feel like I'm doing it, because I'm just so pumped up by these songs and their messages. And I don't know, just kind of, it's sort of inspiring in a way that if you're into this band, you understand it. And if you either kind of get it or you don't. And I understand, like we said, it's nothing's for everybody, but super pumped they're coming. Maybe you want to go because Machine Head's opening, so you can just leave after Machine Head. They're coming to Nautica. You could take off afterwards. That's fine, man.
I honestly, like, that's the temptation, only because I don't know anything by Killswitch. I haven't really, I haven't gone down and listened to them, but that's a band that I think I would like, so I'd probably stay to watch them, at least some of it. So
yeah, there's enough clean singing. The very last album they did last year, I thought was honestly one of the most disappointing. But you get to a point where how many, they're not a band that can really change their sound a ton. So you're going to kind of run out of stuff at some point. But it's just sort of weird where a band like brings back the original singer, and the guy they had to replace the original was freaking amazing. It's like Howard, like, good God, that guy had a voice from God, and they bring Jesse back, and he's singing better, than almost as good as Howard, or better. This new style he got, and yeah, I recommend Disarm the Descent if you like metal and big fat riffs and killer courses.
There you go. I a quick note about Howard, by the way. That guy has got to. I can't believe he changed his new band after Killswitch to this name, but it's one of the worst band names I've ever heard. Every time I see it pop up on Blabbermouth, I'm like, God, that's terrible. Light the Torch. Like, what is that? I'm like, what was Change the Light Bulb taken?
Well, was it The Devil You Know? Was that what the first one he changed?
I think so. That's way better. Light the Torch is terrible.
Really? You think it's? I don't know. I don't think it's.
Oh, it's
horrible. I've definitely heard worse.
It's horrible.
Light the torch.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's not imposing at all. It's like, what is that? Like, but whatever. I don't know. I'm sensitive to shitty band names. I have a music buddy of mine here in town, and he's been in I don't know what it is, but he's been in a bunch of different bands, and most of them have had just terrible names. And every time he's like, "Oh, here's my new band," I'm like, "God damn, you did it again!" Like, what is with this name, dude? Like, come on. So,
well, it's even the newer. So we got when I got the new car, my wife was, we get the 3 months or whatever, Sirius,
mm-hmm.
So like I like to listen to Octane and Ozzy and whatever their stuff. So like I was telling Bob, I'm like, okay, man, I heard like 4 really cool songs by new bands, but then I see the name and I'm like, it's like you said, this name is freaking horrible. Like,
yeah,
like I'll try to find some later and send to, and you're like, it's like, wait, what? it's like Kleenex or something. You know, it might as well just be that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like ominous and it's not like unique. It's just like it's worse. It's like real boring. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, and I'm like, man, this is a really heavy, catchy song, and this is the name of the freaking band that's doing it. Like, what the frick is going on?
Yep. Like Doug McCauley, light the porch. Light my Porsche. JG, drive the Porsche.
Oh
my God. So, all right. So getting to my final record, it is my favorite record of the year. Came in just ahead of the Seven Dust album. This one was released on July 29th. And I guess it should probably be no surprise. This is Impermanent Resonance by Mr. James LaBrie. This was actually my introduction to his solo stuff. For whatever reason, I thought Mo Muzzler was a weird name, so I just assumed that it was like goofy, weird stuff. I'm like, I don't want to hear Dream Theater doing goofy, weird stuff, you know. Like, so yep. I didn't check it out, and I don't remember how I came across this album, but I was like, you know, I've never listened to James's solo stuff. It's not Mo Muzzler, maybe this. I don't know what it is. I'll just put it in. And holy crap, man, it kicks right in with Agony. I was like, what the fuck is this? Holy God. And I mean, the album just doesn't stop. I mean, it is loaded with these huge ass choruses and just like, I mean, there's thrash and there's, you know, emotion, you know, emotional parts, and there's everything in between, man. It is, oh my God. I just love this album, and it got me to go back and listen to the other stuff. And I'm like, holy shit, James's solo catalog is killer. But yeah, I mean, the record is still like all the way through, even up to the last song. You got just banger after banger, man. You know, standout songs for me, I would have to say definitely Agony, Undertow, Sleight of Hand, Back on the Ground, Letting Go. I mean, it's just the writing is so good, and if I remember right, I think this was the record where James had said that they wrote the choruses first, and they made these huge choruses, and then wrote the rest of the song around that. And you could tell, man. I mean, these choruses, I mean, it's like peanut butter on the roof of your mouth. And you know, this was also my introduction to Marcos Fogli, who I absolutely love now. I'm a huge fan of his. And, you know, James and Matt Guillory did some awesome writing together. And then when you throw like Peter Wildewer in there, and I think like the Cookie Monster vocals are perfectly placed, you know, when they're used. I mean, it's just, it just absolutely rips. It's heavy, it's catchy. There's fast tunes, there's like slow tunes like this. It covers a lot of ground, and I just think it's an absolutely fabulous album. It's a shame he never got to tour it, because I mean, especially around this time, like his voice was pretty ripping, and so to see him do this stuff live and stuff from his prior solo albums would have been really awesome. I think he had a tour booked that he had to cancel for some reason. I remember thinking that he had something booked at the Agora Ballroom. And I was all pumped up because I'm like, oh my God, I get to see James LaBrie at the Agora Ballroom and hear these songs like in kind of like, you know, it's like what, an 800 person venue or something. And it ended up not happening. I was like, damn. But Doug McCauley says Shades of Gray is for weed smoking. Impermanent is for walking down to the cage for a UFC fight. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, you're not wrong there.
Yeah. JG3 said, I was actually hoping Peter Wildewer would get the job in Portland. I left. He was my favorite to get it. Yeah, the guy's a beast for sure. But yeah, this, I don't know how familiar you are with this album, but this album just absolutely slays. This is just a phenomenally great record.
Yeah, when we did our like, what the hell do we call it? Like best of the side projects or something. We should probably do another one of those. There's so much to do.
Right.
But yeah, I it's funny because I had made a playlist and I had marked on here that song. My favorite on here was that Lost in the Fire. I love that freaking song.
Okay.
So damn good. And like you said, Undertow, Sleight of Hand were great too. Yeah, I remember this being heavy and catchy, and I was like, wow. And it's totally like Doug said, it's totally not what Shades of Grey is, but I don't think he can. I think Shades of Grey is where he should be now, not on this. Like, he did this, and it's awesome, but
Yeah.
I don't know that he can necessarily go. Maybe we could get just a little bit heavier stuff done on that we had on Shades of Grey, but I don't think we're ever going to go full blown back to this stuff,
Yeah. It'd be cool if he did. I mean,
Yeah,
let's face it, he's not going to tour it, so why not do something that you don't have to worry about blasting
true.
through every night on the stage? Just go for it, So, by the way, quick sports note, I just had to pass this along. It came across my ticker. Since we had a brief comment about basketball earlier, the Knicks and the Hawks are playing tonight. The Knicks are up 3-2, Brian. I think they are in jeopardy of this game going 7. They were only up by 53 points going into the fourth quarter.
So the two Bobs were texting me. The New York went up on a 63-11 run. I've never heard of that.
Yep. It said they had the biggest halftime lead in playoff history tonight.
Was it 83-36? Yeah, that's like, I mean, that's just like not even giving a crap remotely.
That's hysterical. Atlanta's like, we made our point, now we're going home. But
yeah, bye.
Yeah. JG3 says, if you are a fan of Dream Theater and haven't heard Static Impulse and Impermanent Resonance, you just kind of need to go listen to them now. He said it's very well written, has some of James LaBrie's best vocal performances, talking about Impermanent Resonance, and a lot of the vocals are just in his middle range. Yeah. And Kale says, I don't know, man. I don't get into a lot of James LaBrie solo. Interesting. Kale, I'm surprised you don't like it. I think these solo records are amazing. I'm really surprised that you're not really a fan. That's kind of something I figured you'd be into. But all right, so there are our albums we would buy in 2013 when we can't have the new Dream Theater record. So some great stuff on there, man. It definitely got difficult for a minute to come up with stuff, and then I did once I got these, I actually looked forward and checked out like 2016.
Uh-oh. Bad.
Yeah, we might have to combine that with the next year. like was it 2018 or 19 for Distance Over Time? Because I think I found three albums. So like it's gonna that either we combine years or we just do the 1 year, and it's going to be the podcast equivalent of Chuck Billy's autobiography. Like, yeah.
Well, we'll see. I haven't got that far yet, but yeah, I can't even. Well, 2016, that's when the Cavs won it all. That's about all I remember about that year.
Right. It wasn't a great year musically, at least for stuff that I'm into.
Yeah.
Rob Karkuhanga says, I really like these episodes. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. This was a Brian idea. And it is kind of cool because I've actually checked out some stuff that Brian's brought up that I never would normally listen to. And it's also it for me, Brian, I don't know where you stand, but when we do these and I go through the list, it's like I find stuff that I was like, oh, I forgot about this. And it's like an excuse to go back and listen to music that I don't go back to a lot. And so it's fun to kind of rediscover some stuff that I was really into that kind of may have fallen by the wayside. And especially for me, that's huge because like I get so goddamn tired of listening to music because I have to, like, oh, I got to learn this song for the band. I got to learn this song for the band. Like it's rare that I get to just sit down and listen to something because I want to.
Well, you need to do what we do then. Just never learn new songs. Makes it a lot easier.
Well, I'm trying to learn our stuff, like mine and yours, but yeah,
I know.
With Brother Believe, I mean, that stuff's fine because it's like I enjoy it and we're playing a lot of stuff because we like it, not because oh, it's the big hit. But the Brother Believe Me stuff, man, sometimes it's a slog, man. So I enjoy doing these. So glad you like it, Rob. I appreciate it, man. I do too. Look at Doug. Sorry I wasn't high, guys. I'm more fun when I'm stoned.
Well, let's not go that far, Doug. I mean,
That's
more
hilarious.
fun. How could you possibly be more fun than you ever are?
Right.
You know, it's weird though when we do this, and like I said, the stuff happens. Like I was literally a week or 10 days ago, I was like thinking about, man, I missed out on what happened with Gemini syndrome. And then here we go today, and the stupid freaking first album's on there, and it's like, oh my god, I don't know, stuff like that weirds me out. Like when I'm like, this is a weird coincidence, man. I don't know. Sometimes you're wondering, like, are we all like a lot more connected somehow than we realize, or is it just a stupid coincidence? I don't know. The universe is a strange thing.
We're getting all deep. We don't
I know,
do that
man.
on this show because we're about
I know
we're about as deep as a puddle. So,
yeah.
so there you go. All right. Well, on that note, let's close up shop here for the night. As I mentioned earlier, guys, our next episode is going to be on Thursday, May 14th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, and we are going to be doing a deep dive into Jeff Tate's forthcoming Operation Mindcrime 3. Very quick thoughts from me on it, Brian. I don't know where you stand. I'm cautiously optimistic that I think it might be decent. I at least know it's not going to be as shitty as Operation Mindcrime 2, but I'm kind of interested to see how it turns out. The first single was okay. It was pretty decent. The chorus lyric, like, I wasn't a big fan of, but other than that, I mean, I was like, all right, well, I mean, if you know, we'll see where this is. So,
I want to like it. Well,
yeah,
Chris
I do
says
too.
pretty good.
Yeah, so our good buddy Chris Aiken checking in. He says, I've heard 5 songs, pretty good. Doug McCauley said, does it need a part 3? And Lee Walker says, Mindcrime 3 will be a disaster. Aiken says, closer to Sweet Oblivion stuff. All righty.
Well, it's not going to be Rage for Order. I mean, I guess this is what I'm anticipating. And based off of the first song, it doesn't sound like a band, right? It sounds like somebody went into Pro Tools and tried to make something that sounds like Queensryche, which I'm not saying I'm totally against that, because what else are they going to do, right?
Yeah.
That's the way Tate's going to do stuff right now. He doesn't have some whole band that's played together, forever. And I mean, like, he probably uses the same band a lot of times on the tours, but they're not going to sit in a room and record and be organic the way that Dream Theater does. So it's going to be. I'm trying to think of what the word I'm using. There's sound kind of manufactured, I guess, which is what that first one. But if the guitars sound good enough, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, this one's interesting because he said that he recorded it like all over the world. Like he'd be backstage at a show and he had like recording gear and they would record parts here. And I mean, it's like.
So then that's exactly why it sounds like that, because that's, when you do that stuff, it's what it's going to be like.
Yeah. Oh, so here Aiken says it. He says he told me he recorded it over 3 years all over the world. It's MP3 trading. Yeah.
Which again, I'm fine with that. That's how is he going to do it?
Yeah. Kale McLeish, Operation Mindcrime 3, the unnecessary sequel. Nice.
Unnecessary sequel to the sequel.
Yeah. Ooh. So yeah. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully we're not having to like force ourselves through multiple listens of an album we can't stand. So, and I would really like to not come on here and just destroy a record by a singer who I love. So, so, oh boy. So, all right. Yeah. So we will be back here on Thursday, May 14th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, doing a deep dive into the forthcoming Operation Mindcrime 3 by Jeff Tate. So make sure you guys are here for that one if you are so inclined. Got to thank everybody in the chat. Kale McLeish, JG3, Doug McCauley, Chastity, Rob Karkahangis, our good friend Luke the Composer checking in, Lee Walker, and of course the mighty Chris Aiken giving us some early intel on Operation Mindcrime 3. He says, if you want, I'll send my Tate interview and we can go over it on the 14th. Yeah, Aiken, if you want to jump on, like I pulling back the curtain, Brian. I had invited Aiken on to do the deep dive. So yeah, if you want to shoot the Tate interview over and we can throw snippets of that in for, kind of go over what Tate was saying about the album as we deep dive it. So that'd be cool, man. So thank you guys for checking out another episode of Talking into Infinity. Again, if you are watching on YouTube and have not done so, make sure you click the like button and the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you are notified every time that we go live. So until next time, guys, he is Brian. I am your host, John. And as always, everyone, Carpe Diem.